Welcome to another episode of That Crazy Triangle Guy. Here we are looking at Bitcoin US dollar index on the 4 hour time frame. And you'll be happy to know that I did remove a lot of my lines. Although it looks like there are a lot of lines here still, I removed a whole bunch of them. Anyway, last time we talked, I noted this in Adam and Eve pattern that we were forming. And by now, everyone else has noticed it too. And I also brought to your attention this ascending, I guess it's an asymmetrical triangle, whatever, this ascending triangle formation right here on the, that's a stochastic RSI as well as stochastic indicator. Yeah, the stochastic indicator is an ascending triangle clearly. So, and it said looked like we were gonna have a breakout here, and well, I didn't believe we were, but that's what the chart was saying. So I just gotta present the facts here. And we did. We had the breakout of the Adam and Eve pattern, and we're coming back down for a retest. Now let me let's blow this up here. So on the 4 hour chart that we're on here, we came down perfectly for a retest of this wick right here. And we seem to be holding it. Well, we're just hovering around it right there. And we did close the 4 hour candle in green right here. Entirely above that. Which is at, what is that at? It's like 62,750 or something like that. 724. See, we wicked right down to it with that green wick and are holding it, at least on this 4 hour chart. Now, we've seen this back in May. Here we are. May we had the same thing, this Adam and Eve pattern. Adam and Eve. And I've drawn targets here in the white. But we'd have to switch to a daily. These are based on daily candle bodies. And we did hit this target exactly right here if you go by the candle bodies on the daily chart to measure your targets. If you go off the 4 hour, if you go to the wicks or off the 4 hour bodies, it doesn't quite work out because the target was way up at the top of that puts the target way up at the top of this white channel here, which we didn't come close to hitting. And then we didn't go much above that. We actually came right back down and then eventually fell way, way, way down. So here we are. I'm not sure quite what to make of this. Because also back here, it's kind of hard to say what we did retest as the like right here at about 65,600 is the top of the this little cup thing, the Eve. Guess you could go down here for this little retest, and then what was this retest really? It's not really clear when you go to the daily. Here. Here is our top of our cup right there, and these two candle bodies came through it on the daily. It's not really as clear as it is over here. Here it is on the daily chart. Now, if you measure these targets using the daily candle bodies like I've done here, from here to there, to the top right there, and then you measure that up there, that's 70K, which makes sense. Now, where would we hit that 70K? Possibly at this blue dashed line. We travel in these blue channels, in these blue and these pink channels on the chart. You can clearly see that even when we came up here, we're trying to hold this top of this blue channel as support. We fell through it to retest this support here on our Eve cup. And I don't know, we're just kind of lingering there. I don't know if that's gonna fail or not. And so where would we hit 70K if we hit it at this blue dashed line, the center line of the blue channel here? Makes sense that would be a place we would hit. That'll be next week, the first week of September. Well, it's Labor Day. So that's that. I'm just pointing out here what I'm looking at in the charts. I'm not quite sure what to make out of it yet. This makes sense to me from what's going on right now, and that we're, the bullish news we're getting for Bitcoin, and we're heading into the CPI data release on September 11th, marked by this yellow vertical line, and the FOMC meeting September 17th and 18th, marked by this fuchsia colored vertical line. So it makes sense that we front run these meetings back up to 70K, ready for a breakout in mid-September. And currently we are traveling up through the daily Gaussian channel, marked by these green and yellow dashed lines. And actually, that's interesting. I just noticed that when we did retest the top of the Eve here, that's right on the mean band of the daily Gaussian channel as well. So it makes sense that we hold this and bounce and shoot through the top of this channel. Possibly come back down and retest it here Thursday at 65,777, which is quite odd. So looks like I'm kind of waiting for us to dump down to 61, but maybe that's not going to happen, or lower. Now, funny that I did bring that up, because if we're talking about candle bodies here and not that wick, remember this support that we're testing right now is this wick up here on the daily time frame. If we did want to test support on the candle bodies, that is around 61.5. So maybe we do wick down a little bit further. What's interesting, though, as well, if you look at CME futures, in the middle of your screen is the Bitcoin US dollar index at 62,992 right now. Futures is just below it, is trading at a discount to spot which usually isn't the case if we're bullish. But we are coming into the end of the month. I'm not quite sure how that affects things. I don't really know a lot about futures, so maybe people have to wheel and deal and get out or in or out of their positions. I don't know how that works. So I'm just calling these things to your attention that I'm seeing. And of note is that the total 3 is a little bit higher than Bitcoin. DXY, as you know, is dropping. It's a little green right now, but it's been declining a lot. So then also when we're looking at Bitcoin, you got your oscillators down here. This is the daily. So Bitcoin on the RSI is up above the 50% level here. And we're kind of retesting this purple line that I've drawn. We did bounce off of this purple support line that I've drawn. Now, why did I draw that? Oh. I might have drawn that on a 4-hour or something. I don't know. Maybe it moved. It's not even touching that. That's weird. That seems a bit odd to me. You know what? Let's see where I did draw it. Well, I don't know. I don't know what that is. That's weird. Because it's not quite hitting those other lines. Couldn't have been on a weekly, was it? Doesn't make sense. Maybe it was on a weekly that I did draw it. There we go. That looks a little bit better. It is touching. Yeah, I drew it on the weekly. We're contacting that high there. And we do cut the top of that head off there. However, we hit here and there. That's what that is. And okay, so on the weekly, if we do bounce here, we will break through that line. So that's interesting to note. While we're here, let's look at our weekly oscillators. Well, you know, we've been toying around with the stochastic RSI here on the weekly chart, and we've had a lot of fake outs to the upside here. Is this going to be the real one or another fake out? We will have to wait to the end of the week to find out, won't we? Stochastic is in the up above the 50% level. Let's see. It's pointed downward now on the weekly. That other thing at the bottom is Kind of weird. So daily, where are we at? Daily, we're up here in the oversold area, but we can stay up there for quite a while. Like we did just a little bit ago, just right there. We stayed up there for quite a while, and up here we stayed up here for quite a while. So back in May, actually, that's what we were looking at before. So we could chop along the top there for quite a while. Now on the 4-hour, we're way down here at the bottom. So are we going to turn up? We certainly here and here could rally for quite some time, like in this trajectory. If I can, God damn it! If we could head upwards like this from here, we could do that all the way up until we get the CPI numbers in September in the FOMC meeting. So don't know what quite to make of this. Now I'm going to pause for a second. So this is the CoinGlass Bitcoin liquidation heat map, looking at the overall Bitcoin symbol on the 12-hour time frame. And if we want to come down here, if the market makers want to come down here and liquidate these guys, they're going to have to come down below that wick. Now, could they come down then to, what was it, 61 and a half? Certainly, they could certainly come down to 61 and a half and liquidate these longs here. So that's a possibility. And if we look at the older, if we look at the on CoinGlass, the order book, looking at BTC, USDT with Binance and who? Bybit, OKX, Binance and OKX. And we're looking at in $100 increments. You can see at the bottom there, it's a total of 783 Bitcoin of buy orders placed down to 62,000. There's a lot, 100, couple 62.9 and 62.8. You got hundreds of Bitcoin orders there. And not much on the sell side, 358 total, which is unusual for BTC USDT. Usually, lately, there's been a lot of selling. So it's kind of strange. It's double. It's about double the buys as opposed to the sells. But additionally, too, a lot of those buys are down at 62,200 Bitcoin worth. So what's that telling us? Now, if you look here, the slopes here are a lot shallower. This wasn't like this before. This was much steeper against the buys here. So where's 70,000? 70,000 is like all the way up there. Now let's look at, I don't know what to make of any of this. I'm just showing it to you. We look at $100 increments on BTC USDT, which has all these exchanges here. Bitstamp, Gemini, Bitfinex, Kraken, Coinbase Pro. Okay, I don't want you there anymore. There we go. Here kind of the same. From Kraken. Is that Kraken? Coinbase Pro Bitfinex. I'm sorry, Bitfinex is the biggest one. Okay, that's Bitfinex. The rectangular looking one over there. That's Bitfinex. The sell rectangle shorter than the buy rectangle, but where's 70,000? 70,000 is all the way over there. Yeah, you got this wall right here at about 70,000. So that makes sense. This wall right here. Can those little greens on the left push us all the way to that wall on Coinbase? Maybe so. And here, then, you have buys and sells a little bit more even, with buys slightly outweighing the sells orders. So here's the stock market futures for tomorrow. And these I mean, they're just, it's about zero. And the tech is, or the NASDAQ is now in the green. But everything was in the red a little while ago. But this changes all the time. So looking at this chart, looking at the spot order book, it's telling me that we could have a strong bounce here up to 70K this week. Now, CME futures is telling a different story. It's not even the same price as spot. I mean, it's below spot. You know, let me look at something. I don't usually look at futures on the, but we can look at futures here on the order book. You click that futures thing there. And let's flip that to 100. And you get a lot more. You got a lot more over there. So here on BTC USD, it kind of shows the same as what we were looking at on the spot, that the buys are slightly outweighing the sells. Let's see what USDT Bitcoin looks like. And let's go to 100. So about even, with the buys slightly outweighing the sells. So it's not really saying a lot there. Okay. So there you have it. I'm really tempted to make some buys right now, but I'm not understanding why we're just sitting here and why futures isn't on board with everybody else. And we do have a whole day before we confirm a daily candle here. We have a 4-hour confirmation, but maybe we need to wait for a daily confirmation. Maybe everybody's waiting to see what's going to happen tomorrow with the market, U.S. market open, or during market trading hours. And maybe they're waiting for 61.5. I'm still waiting for like even lower, like maybe like 56 something. But that's a different story. Yeah, the way things are playing out now, this. And you know, I'm really not looking at a lot of other things right now. I'm just looking at this Adam and Eve pattern, to be quite honest here. So that's what you have there. I'm still wondering what's going to go on with Iran and Israel, and if that really matters much to the market anymore, unless something dramatic happens, because we're getting pretty good economic data, which is what I've said would always be the case. Powell's been very upfront with us about what he says he's going to do and doing what he says, and I think he's doing a great job at bringing us in for a soft landing here as much as possible. We've got a good, strong economy. It's really funny. So I grew up in the 80s when I was, coming into the becoming an adult and getting into the working world. And I think I've said this before. When I was 18, I had two jobs, two full-time jobs, and even a little bit later, a few years later, I was working three jobs. I worked on the weekend. I worked graveyard at a gas station, and I worked installing, making Corian countertops and installing Euro design cabinetry during the day. I worked graveyard at a gas station at night as a cashier, and I worked at a equipment rental place on the weekend, part time. So that's how the economy was then. And we live in an economy now where people eat out, eat fast food all the time, and pay to have food delivered all the time. If people have money to live like that, that's just absolutely insane. I don't even do that now. I wasn't brought up that way. I don't eat that crap. I make my own food. But the rest of the world, I mean, everybody has enough money to live like that. I think our economy's pretty good. So anyway, there you have it. I don't know what's going to happen. Let's see. But I just wanted to bring all that, what I'm looking at, to your attention. I don't know. I guess I'm going to wait and see what happens tomorrow. So whatever. Okay. And if you feel like liking and subscribing, do that. If not, don't. I don't care. I'm just doing this for me. And to bring a different perspective to YouTube and the crypto world out there, whoever stumbles upon this. All right. See you next time.